Okay, so I wanted to zoom you guys in a little bit closer for this so you guys can see what I'm doing. The first thing that we are going to start out with is priming our eyelids. I've already primed with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance because I just recorded my updated eyebrow routine, and you will understand the meaning of this when you watch that video. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if it'll be up first or be up after this, but it will be up very soon. So I've already primed with that. The next thing I'm going to do is go in with my MakeUp Beauty eye primer. And I just use my finger, dip it in the pot there, and I just place some on my eyelid. And I go up to my brow bone with this as well, just to kind of help everything stick and stay throughout the day. That rhymed. Yay. And it also helps kind of blank out some of the color that I have on my eyelids, because I do have a little bit of redness and some veins on the upper portion of my eyelid. So it helps just kind of block out some of that color so my eyeshadow really kind of pops through and it's not disrupted by any of the color that's on my eyelid. Just taking that up to the brow bone. Working that in. I have like the most watery eyes ever. And I don't know if you guys can ever tell when I'm doing tutorials, and my eyes are so watery and it's so annoying. But it is what it is. The next thing I'm going to do is go in and do my brow highlight. I'm going to be using the color Foxy from the Naked 2 palette. And I'm just taking this kind of like flat, fluffy brush. And I'm just going to be placing that underneath my brow bone. Just like so. Next thing I'm going to be using are some Makeup Geek shadows. This is my little Sephora palette that I got. I only got 2 of the Makeup Geek shadows, and you will see them in my faves for February, which will probably be up after these videos. My tutorial for this and my eyebrow tutorial are going to be up first, and then you will see them featured in my faves. So I'm not going to talk about them too much, but I'm just going to take a Sigma E35, and I'm going to dip into Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. Which is a couple shades darker than my skin tone. And I'm just placing that above the crease. It's this nice kind of like peachy undertone color, at least that's how it pulls on me. And I just place that above my natural crease. And I also go down onto my eyelid with it as well. Should I zoom you in more? Maybe I shall. Maybe, yeah, better? Is that better? You can see all the imperfections in my face. So I'm just placing that windshield wiper motions and circular motions just above my crease, and then I also place that on my eyelid also. And I'm using the same fluffy brush just to place on my eyelid, so I'm not going for any intense color here. This is just kind of like my everyday slapping on makeup, natural but want to look professional at work kind of thing. And then I'm just taking my big concealer brush by e.l.f. and I'm just going over all of that just to make sure all the edges are nice and blended out. I love this brush for that technique. I'm looking very like yellow. I'm really testing the lighting on this, guys, but I don't know how it's going. So I'm going to take that same Sigma brush and I'm going to go into Cocoa Bear, which is a nice brown, and it has a little bit of an orangish tint. I don't know if it's supposed to, but that's how it pulls on me, which doesn't like really bother me because I feel like it gives me a nice look day to day. And I'm using that on the outer portion of my lid and going up into my crease as well. Colors are so pigmented, y'all. Again, I'm just using that same fluffy brush to deposit the color onto the lid because I just want a nice wash of color on the lid. I'm not trying to do anything too crazy or anything too dramatic. Then I'm going to take my same concealer brush by e.l.f. and I'm just going to make sure that Cocoa Bear is nice and cohesive with Creme Brulee. The next thing that we're going to do, I'm just going to go back into the Naked 2 palette. And this particular step, oh, I'm zoomed in. This particular step changes depending on how I'm feeling. I will usually just take one of the colors that's kind of like a shimmery color. So you have Half Baked, you have Chopper, you have YDK, Verve, any of those colors in there. And I place that on the inner portion. It just really depends on how I'm feeling that day. I just like it for a little bit of shimmer and to bring a little bit of highlight to the inner corners of my eyes and bring a little something to such kind of a plain look. But really, it just depends on how I'm feeling that day. I think today I'm going to take YDK, and I'm just going to take it on a Real Techniques shading brush. It's a very small brush, and I like to use this brush because it really kind of helps me get in this little inner portion of my eye, because I don't want to get anything crazy up into the crease. I really just want to make sure that it's focused on that inner corner of my eye, just for a little bit of shimmer and a little bit of extra something. And this brush really helps because I have such small eyelids that it just kind of gets right in there. And I don't have to worry about it getting everywhere. So I just place that there, and then I take my Sigma E35 that I use for the other colors, and I'm just going to kind of marry those colors together on my lid, leaving the highlight on the inner portion, but just where I've kind of blended over into the middle of my eye. I just want to make sure everything's nice and cohesive and blended in, and I don't have like a stark color. I want it to really transition nicely together. That is pretty much the eyes up until this point. I'm going to zoom you guys out a tad if I can figure out how to do it. Yay, I did. And we're going to move on to face. I've already primed my face, and I use the Master Prime by Maybelline. This is one of the new ones at the drugstore, and this is just the regular one, the Blur and Smooth. So that's what I use to prime my face. I'm now going to go in, excuse me, with my Maybelline Super Stay Makeup 24-Hour Micro Flex Formula in Classic Beige. And this is my foundation, y'all. I love this foundation. This is the only foundation that I found, oh, too much. I always do too much, though. I wish it had a pump. I did a review on this. I will link it down below. Basically, my only problem with it is that it doesn't have a pump, and that drives me crazy. But since I have cool undertones to my skin, a lot of foundations that I find have warmer undertones to them, at least that I've searched for, and it just doesn't look good. This is like perfect because this also has those cool undertones. And I'm just taking my Beauty Blender, and I'm just going to be applying that foundation all over my face with a damp Beauty Blender. And I did feature this Beauty Blender in my faves for December and for January, and I absolutely love it. It's definitely worth the hype. It's amazing. And this is kind of like my new foundation routine. I will link my very old one down below, and if you guys want to see like an updated base makeup routine, I can do one for you guys, so just let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with an Elizabeth Mott brush. I got this in a subscription box. I can't remember which one. It's very, very dirty right now. And I'm going to be taking a mixture of things for underneath my eyes. Weird, but the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this orange lipstick. And I actually saw this on Facebook, and it works relatively well, but I don't like it on its own, so I mix it with this NYX like under eye corrector, and this is in the color medium. So I just take my brush and I get a little bit of that orange on there. And then I go into the NYX under eye corrector, and I get some of that on there. And then I just kind of dab that right underneath my eye where I have those like bluish purple circle areas. Just so it kind of helps take that color away before I go in with my under eye concealer. And I don't do a lot. I just do a little bit because it just helps in the end when I put my concealer on. And then I like to go in with my damp Beauty Blender and just push it in because I have a very dry, scaly under eye. So I just want to make sure everything is blended under there on each step that I'm doing. So that is basically that step. I'm getting the sniffles again, guys. Not liking it. Not liking it at all. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this little guy. This is the Makeup Forever waterproof concealer, and this is in the shade 8. I just got this sample from Sephora. I have not actually purchased a real one yet, but it's amazing, and I love it. I take that same brush to get a little bit on, and I just place that, really focusing on the circles and bringing it down a little bit. I'm not using this as a highlight. I do not highlight underneath my eyes because it really draws attention to my dark circles. So I'm really using this concealer to conceal my dark circles, not to highlight, so I don't bring it down super far. And then I go in with my Beauty Blender and just make sure everything's cohesive and blended. I don't use a lot of concealer because the concealer tends to, am I even in frame? concealer tends to crease really bad underneath my eye because of the texture of my under eye. So I just kind of dot that on. And since this is the same color as my skin tone, pretty close, if there's any imperfections around my face, I just dot it on those places, and I take the fat side that I use to do the foundation and just dab over it. I like to put a little extra around my nose because I get very red on the corners of my nose as my makeup starts to wear off. So that is that. I forgot to grab my powder. Shall I grab it? Oh, it's not in that drawer. The powder I'm going to be using to set my concealer is by NYC, and this is their Smooth Skin Translucent Powder. And I basically just take some, I shake it up in the lid, and I just take my beauty blender and I get some on there. And that is what I use to set my concealer. And I set right away, so it's less, there's less of a chance that my concealer will crease on me. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit so we can get back to the eyes. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with that color. Foxy is my highlight color. And I'm just going to place a bit more on that outer portion of my brow because we did lose some of that color as we were blending. Just a little bit more. And then I'm going to set my eyebrows. You guys will see my updated eyebrow routine. But I don't set my eyebrows until I feel like I'm almost done with my makeup or at the very end. So I just run it over very lightly to control some of my hair. So before I forget to do that, I wanted to do it. But I did talk about the product in my eyebrow routine. I did not use it, however, because I didn't have any makeup on my face. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, I'm going to tightline just my upper waterline with black. There's that. This gives a little bit of definition to my eyelash area. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go in with the Smashbox Waterproof Shadow Liner. And what color is this? Does it not say? Maybe it doesn't say. It may not say. Oh, Luminous Fig. It does. And this is what it looks like. It's just like a jumbo pencil, but it's an eyeliner, a waterproof eyeliner. And it's just a nice like brown color. And I use this on my lower waterline and lash line because I feel like it's less harsh. Am I in frame? No. That's what I do there. Excuse me, gotta move my big giant mirror. And then I'll go back into my Naked 2 palette. Whatever color I put on the inside, I'll take that same Real Techniques brush that I used to apply it, and I will take that same color on the lower lash line on the inner portion there. Just a little bit to brighten things up on that lower lash line. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some other color just on the like outer 3/4, and I'm just going to take Busted from the Naked 2 palette. I'm not taking a color that matched any color that I already used. I have tried to use that Cocoa Bear underneath the lash line, but since it pulls so orange, I feel like it just really, it does something crazy to my under eye circles. I'm not really sure what it is, but it just doesn't look good. I just don't like it. So I'm just taking Busted, which is kind of like a grayish shimmery color, and I'm just smudging that a bit on the outer portion of my lower lash line just for some more definition there, because I feel like when I smudge color on my lower lash line, it makes my circles not look as bad because people are looking at my big smudges on my lower lash line and not my dark circles. Maybe I'm weird. The next thing we're going to do is mascara. I'm going to be using the Benefit Their Real Mascara. I really, really like this mascara. I featured it in my faves, which will be linked down below in my recent videos in the description box. I just feel like it's really, really good at separating the lashes. I know some people say that they don't like it because of the brush and they think it's overhyped, but I like it because it's not like, maybe it reset itself, but now like the color in my video is not orange. Now it's back to that like weird color again. I just can't get this straight. I just give up. I don't know what to do with this. Anyway, moving right along. The next thing that we're going to do, if I can find my little brush in here, is I'm just going to take an angled blush brush by e.l.f. and I'm going to take the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, and I'm just going to use that to give some definition right on the temples. I don't like contour crazy. on an everyday basis. I just like to give a little bit of definition on my temples, which you probably can't even see. This sliding, ooh, flyaways. And then I also take it and I place it underneath my jawline because I need a little bit of help under there to define that jawline. Real simple, real quick. And then I take a tiny bit of it just on the outside portion here, just to get a little bit of definition here. So I'm not like doing any kind of crazy contouring, but I do want to bring a little bit of shadow here because it helps slim me out just a tad. Even on a daily basis, I do this. Just like that. I'm really upset that the lighting switched itself back, guys. I'm so sorry. Like, and I'm going to go in with blush. This is by Miss Chick, and this is from ShopMissA. And this is in the color Gypsy, I believe. And I'm just going to go in with an e.l.f. complexion brush. Get a little bit on there, dab the excess off. I like a lot of blush, which no one can ever tell on camera that I like a lot of blush, but I do. I overdo it on the blush quite often because I like the fact that it kind of warms up my face and it just makes my cheeks nice and rosy. Can you tell they're rosy? No, you can't. Me and this camera are having serious arguments today. Like, it keeps cutting off in the middle of my recording, and I keep thinking that I'm running out of space, but so then I'm having to run into the living room on my laptop and dump footage on my laptop, and then I find out that I still have like over 50 minutes of record time left, and I'm like, then why are you doing this to me? I don't understand. But we will work it out if we don't break up first, me and this camera. The last thing that I'm going to be doing before I spray the whole thing down is I'm going to be going in with the Rimmel London Provocalip 16-hour lip duo thing. I will be talking about this in my faves, so I'm not going to go into detail about it here. And this is in the color 230 Kiss Fatal, or is it Kiss Fatale? It doesn't have the E on the end, so I don't know if it's Fatale, but Kiss Fatal sounds kind of funny. So I'm just going to place this on. You're supposed to let that set up for a little bit. Nobody has time for that. So I'm going to take the other side, which is this like glossy kind of finish. And I'm just going to place that on right on top because I honestly don't wait because I don't have time for that. I just don't. So that is the finished product. I don't know if you guys can even tell because now the camera has done crazy things with the lighting, but that is pretty much my everyday go-to makeup that I wear Monday through Friday when I go to work. I want to look polished, I want to look put together, but I don't want to spend a ton of time on eyes, and I want to be able to really just kind of get it done. It always seems really long on camera, but I feel like it doesn't actually take me this long in real life because I'm just kind of slapping everything on and I'm not talking while I'm doing it. It seems like it takes a lot longer on camera because I'm like chatting with you guys while I'm doing it and telling you what I'm doing. So that is it. I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Also, if you did like this video, give it a big thumbs up so I know that you liked it. Hit that sub button if you have not already subbed to my channel because you don't want to miss out on anything. And I will see you guys soon in the next video. Bye.